Hello and welcome back to another day in the woods where today the weather's actually really nice. It's nice and actually warm today, and you would think because of the weather being so good I would continue on my cleaning spree and finish off the last task on my list, which is to do the car park area and sorting all this stuff out. But the clock is ticking, the caravan is going soon, and I need to get back in to the bathroom and continue progress in there. Now, it's been quite a while since I've actually physically been in this room, but last time we began fitting the bath, getting the taps on, and basically getting ready to plumb it all in. But what I didn't realize at the time, which has now been pointed out to me thanks to you guys in the comments, that due to my taps, and the size of the bath, being able to tile down to the bath is going to be quite challenging. Now, people have suggested that I get a new tap and stuff like that, but there is no reason why I can't tile behind the bath and then fit the bath to the tile. So the plan is to remove this bath, put battens on the wall so the bath has something to sit on, and then I will tile from the batten up the wall, which is actually a bit of a win as well, because there's quite a gap at the end of the bath at the moment, which I was going to box out anyway so you wouldn't really notice it, but with the tiles being on the wall, it'll actually move the bath ever so slightly and make this space smaller, so when I slot the bath in, the gap at the end isn't so big. Now, I have a couple of issues that I need to address in this vlog, rather annoying. I have no idea how this happened. As you guys watch me dry fit all this pipe work and the aqua panel, and I made sure the toilet fit. But for whatever reason, I have no idea why the toilet no longer fits. The flush pipe just doesn't go in anymore. Let me show you. This is actually quite hard to film, but if you look there, see how low the flush pipe is in comparison to the toilet? It wasn't like that when I fitted it. This was like the one thing that I was dreading more than anything by having a hidden system, because there is no play in the wall whatsoever, due to the fact that it's an aqua panel that's now been plastered. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of jiggery pokery with this. I don't think I can get an adapter to change the height of it. I think I'm gonna have to essentially chisel away at this hole and try and get the pipe to move up, because as of right now it doesn't move. I can't get it to go up any further. Like, it is literally at the top, as high as it can go. As I mentioned, I have no idea how this has happened, because it's not even like the plaster, because if I feel around the back of it here, fortunately I do actually have an access panel to this, it doesn't go up either. So it's like maybe the aqua panels honestly, I don't know. I fitted it and then I made sure the toilet fit before I screwed it all into the wall and got it plastered. So yeah, I have no idea how that's happened. The only thing I can think of right now is to use my multi-tool and cut like a bit of a square above it here, and then allow the pipe to move up ever so slightly. Because there will be some flex in it, as you can tell here. But other than that, I'm lost. I have no idea what to do. Either way, that is just one of many little jobs that I need to resolve before I can continue on with the bathroom. But I am going to start from this side and work my way out of the room with like the odd bits and bobs that I need to do, because not only do I need to fit the battens on the wall for the bath to sit on and for me to tile up from, but I do need to tape the joints on my aqua panel. So I've got some tape, it's like scrim tape essentially, and I've got some tile adhesive that I can use to do that. You have to have a certain type of tile adhesive, but I do have the right stuff. So yeah, we're gonna start with this side and then work our way through the room and make sure everything's a-okay. One thing that I am thinking of, like considering now as well, is that when I add my flooring down, the toilet's gonna get even higher, so the pipe is going to be even lower than it should be. So I need to consider that when I get to that point, but let's just do one thing at a time. First job was removing the bath, and now that that's all done, we can assess the situation here. Now, obviously I have a line drawn, but I think the term is datum point. I set up my laser level when I had the bath in to draw a line exactly at the height of the bath. So all I need to do is measure the thickness of the edge of the bath, which is 35mm, work my way down from my line and draw a mark. As long as my batten follows that line and is level all the way around, my bath will sit on it perfectly level. Then I use my laser measure to find out the distance I need to make my batten. which is 1465. Not measuring all the way to the wall because I'm going to have a box section at the end here. So measuring off this piece of wood distance from the wall. Then we just make the cut with our circular saw. I use a speed square just to make sure it's a square cut. And I'm too lazy to get my miter saw. That's our first batten. Now, before I screw my batten to the wall, I need to compensate for the tails on my taps. Because, as you can see here, when the bath is sitting on top of the batten, the tails go straight through it. So I need to cut out this section here on that piece of wood. So get it into two parts and then I'll fit those parts to the wall. Right, so with this wall, obviously I have battens on the wall that I can fix to. Now the battens are very well secured to the wall, so I know that if I screw directly into those battens, we should be spot on. So what I'm gonna do is line up this first screw here, screw this one in, like so. Then I'll use my level to ensure that this pattern is spot on, which is there. And screw this one in. And that is bang on. Now, for the other side, I don't have as many fixing points due to where my battens lie. So I'm gonna have to screw into at least one of the battens. Here, I'll show you. When I fit this side on here, like so, I only have a batten here, so I can only put one screw in and it will wobble all over the place. So I'm gonna fit this batten in, then I'll use my my hammer drill, my SDS drill, to put some holes through it and put some concrete screws in. Right, I got it fixed to the wall. I added a second screw in just to make sure it's all level, which it is. Perfectly level. Now I'll use my SDS drill just to ensure this thing never moves. Now, to be perfectly honest, I could probably just screw into the aqua panel with multiple screws here and it's not going to go anywhere, but just to be safe, rather to be safe than sorry, we'll go through with our SDS drill, which has still got an incredibly blunt end, so we'll see how this goes. Maybe I should pilot it first. Give there something for it to grip to, because it is incredibly blunt. I need to replace it. As I say, this is kind of just like a belts and braces thing. But it's just to ensure that it's got a proper fixing into the wall. Okay, we've got our first set of battens on for the back of the bath. Now I just need to do the tap end. Well, there's no tap, well, the shower tap end, just like so. Now all that's left to do is this end, the window end. So what I'm gonna do is basically create a frame here with a upright in the middle, and that is what this end of the bath will sit on. So I've got a bottom plate and a top plate, stack them on top of each other and measure from here to the top here, and all I need to do is cut 3 uprights at that measurement. Bish bash bosh, we're all done. Right, got the frame on this end. It's not fixed into place right now, so I need to screw it in. For the life of me, I cannot remember where the battens are on the wall, so there's that. Ah yes. It's right there. So I can't screw it into a batten, but there is like a top plate here, so I've screwed straight through into that. That is rock solid, ain't going nowhere. And now we have all our battens on. I'm gonna put the bath in. Hopefully I've done this right. So to get this bath in, it needs to go in basically square, so we'll lower the bath down. Hopefully without doing any damage to it. In fact, I can just lift it from here, I guess. Right, so the bath should sit right there on the batten. Solid as a rock. Lovely jubbly. Now the only thing I need to be concerned about, well, it's not even a concern really, but when I fit in the, when I did the plumbing for the pipework down there, obviously I can access the stop valves, which is perfect, but the bit sticking at the end for me to push fit into, I never made like too long, I just kind of had some offcuts and left it at that. So I need to make them the right length, so when I come to actually fit the taps in, I can reach down and push fit them. Because as you can see there, that is the tap tail coming down, and it's at full length. It doesn't reach down long enough, so I need to make this pipe a little bit longer. Nice and easy though. Before I pull the bath back out, the reason I have not taken the bands all the way to the edge is because I need to get some more timber. I don't have any right now. It's slightly smaller timber, not CLS, but I basically need to make a frame for the front here for my bath panel to fit to. It'll be very similar to what you can see here, but it will go all the way along the bath here, and then whether I use the plastic panel that I've got, which everyone has said I can cut down to make shorter if I want to, but it's fine. Or I make my own, which I'm more inclined to do, having a wooden frame here that will fit to the bath, or it won't, it'll fit to this. It means I can push whatever panel I make straight into that and it won't move, which is ideal. I don't have to worry about running the batten across the wall, the floor or anything like that. I could just screw it into the timber I've got there. But yeah, before I pull the bath out and do the tails, this offcut of oak wood is going to be my windowsill. Obviously I'm not going to use this, I'll get some more, but it is actually 12.5 mil shy of the bath. So if I pad this windowsill up by 12.5 mil, this is 12.5, and then I can sit this directly on top of that, and then it's completely flush to the windowsill. And then here you'll see that it covers up the batten, so you'll never see that. So the edge of the bath will run up to the windowsill will overhang slightly here. Then when it comes to framing up my bath panel, because I'll make it myself, if I made it out of oak, not that I'm going to, I can literally put it right there and you'll never ever see this timber framework. You'll just see a nice panel that goes all the way across. I've actually seen some kind of nice ones where people tile it. Now, if I tile it, a huge concern about putting the taps in the middle has been like, oh, if the taps go faulty or something like that, I can't access it, etc., etc., etc. I'm not concerned about that because this bath isn't permanent. It was a budget-friendly, perfect fit-to-size bath that in 5 years' time, we might change. There might be I might go for a custom bath, etc., etc. Like there's different things. I'm not too concerned about it. Like I said, one of the benefits of me tiling the wall and fitting the bath to the wall is it makes pulling the bath out significantly easier because the tiles aren't sitting on the bath. Obviously, I'll need to seal it, and I'll put like plenty of sealant around the bath to make sure no water gets down there. But when it comes to replacing this bath or pulling the bath out to do maintenance on the taps, I will literally be able to cut the silicone and pull the bath straight out because it's not going to be fixed down. In many ways, tiling behind the bath has kind of been a saving grace. But now that we know what we're doing, I don't think it really matters, but instead of using plasterboard to pad this like windowsill out, I might actually get some plywood at 12.5 mil and cut that out there instead, or OSB or something like that. I just think if I use wood, then I can actually screw directly into this concrete slab and I'll have a bit more of a stronger fixing rather than using plasterboard. That being said, all it's doing is padding the windowsill to allow for my actual sill, my oak windowsill to sit on. But yeah, you get the idea. Right, let's pull the bath back out, get the tails sorted, or get the pipe work to the right length so it's ready and it's good to go. And then the last thing we need to do at this end is fix the overflow, because I've not fitted the overflow yet. And I keep forgetting, but I need to finish doing this bit here. Because I need to pad this out as well. This batten here is not in the center of the taps. It'll drive me mental. I'm going to pad this out by adding another one of these boards. And when it comes to tiling this, which is going to be hard, I know, this box will be the same as this box. It'll be in the middle. Oh, and I need to tape and adhesive the joints. Either way, one thing at a time. We'll very quickly swap these out like so. Can't really tell a great deal of difference, but they are longer than they were before. I've also very quickly padded out that box section there, so that's all sorted. I believe we are ready to tape and fill the joints. So I need to mix up some tile adhesive and then basically put it over all of the joints and then put tape on top of that, allow it to dry, and then once it's dry, in a day maybe, I can then tile over this wall. I'm gonna leave the windowsill for the time being because I don't actually have any wood that I can fit there, rather than using plasterboard. I could do it with plasterboard right now, but I think wood would be better, it'd be a better fixing. Look, with that in mind, let's get some adhesive mixed up. Alrighty, we don't need a lot of this. I'm gonna do it in small batches as I've never taped and jointed aqua panel before, but we open this bag real quick. We're going to just use our bucket trowel and add some adhesive. I have a funny feeling I've got way more than I need, but it's fine. It's all part of the learning process. We'll get some of this mixed up. Yeah, I've got way too much water in here. I have horribly misjudged this. I've literally just wasted a full bag of adhesive. We're not going to talk about the fact that I was naive enough to think that, oh, I've done this before, nice and easy. I have mixed up way too much adhesive, just way too much. Now, I've not done this before, but from my understanding, I quite literally just put adhesive on the joints, and then we take our tape. Can I cut this with this? I don't even know. I've not done this before. I've seen people do this. Yeah, that's not going to work. We're going to use scissors. Right, and then apparently you just put this on. I believe it's that simple. I don't know. God, I've got so much adhesive. I feel like this is so unnecessary, but Aquapanel says you need to do it, so that's what we're going to do. For whatever reason, I don't think it's going to make any difference anyway, because when I put adhesive all over this wall and stick tiles to it, I can't see why this is going to make any difference whatsoever. I suppose if I was like dotting and dabbing, it would matter. I don't know. Follow the instructions, I guess. Put the tile adhesive on, or whatever this stuff is. Oh my days. Oh. See, this is the beauty of my channel, right? Is that I'm not a how-to channel. Like, I'm not here to teach you guys how to do this. I am purely here to show you what I do, whether that is right and or wrong. It's 9 times out of 10, it's the wrong way to do it. But hey ho, it's the fun of doing things together. Right, let me whip the time lapse up. I've got it on my thing. Let me whip the time lapse on and get this all done. Jesus Christ. What a shit show. Alright, I've taped the joints up. Look at that. You know, internally I'm doing this, and internally I can hear James the plumber screaming at me, being like, Orion, what are you doing? The way I see it is that I saw on the guidance for Aquapanel that you need to tape the joints up before tiling onto it. So yeah, I've done exactly that. I have taped the joints and put adhesive on it. I did double check to make sure that the adhesive I'm using is okay to fill and tape, and it is. But worst case scenario, I didn't need to do this, and I've just wasted some time. That's the worst case scenario. But to be perfectly honest, belts and braces and all that kind of good stuff. All the gaps are filled now. I've done the corner as well. I haven't bothered doing the shelves because I figured if I just do that, I'm going to end up with just tape everywhere. I'll just wait till I tile it. So, yeah. Did I need to do it? Maybe not, but maybe I did. Who knows? Either way, it's done. And I've wasted an absolute... Oh, that is like 20 quid down the drain, I guess, because I've just basically used a full bag of adhesive when I didn't need to. I should have put water in after I put adhesive in, but I just filled the bucket up with a very small amount of water, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. And then put adhesive in, and before you know it, I ended up with like basically a full bag of adhesive down the drain. But hey ho, you live and you learn, right? This is what this is all about. I make mistakes, so you don't have to. This is also why, regardless of whether you've done something before, read the bag. All the same, the job is done. The last thing I need to do is put the waste and stuff on the bath, but today I'm kind of juggling this little one back and forth, so I can't get quite as much done as I would like. I don't think I'm going to do the toilet situation today. I feel like it would be wise to wait for some feedback first, because I think if this video goes live and people out there will likely have a better idea of what to do than I do. So I'm just going to kind of let this video go up as it is, and then wait to hear some feedback on what I should do about the toilet flush pipe before I like start chiseling away at the wall and creating a larger hole. I don't want to do that, so yeah, right. As I now essentially just need to wait for this adhesive to dry, I'm going to put the overflow on the bath. I still think this is so ridiculous. Also, as I had a ton of excess over, I literally just put some adhesive on the windowsill with some tape because there was like cracks and holes and stuff in it. I'm going to be putting plywood there of some sort anyway, like got a phone. I'm going to be putting some form of wood down and screwing it in, so it doesn't really matter anyway, but you know, it looks nicer now. I actually think this one's a little sleepy. Are you sleepy? You waving? High five! Right, let's crack on. So I've got my overflow, and what we need to do is put the rubber seal on this end, and this end, it should just, yeah, this clips off. And then all I've got to do is fit that on there, make sure it's all lined up nice and square, and then tying it up nice and tight. Like so. This can clip back onto there. And that is the overflow all sorted, and then we just have to screw this onto there. Now ordinarily, you might find if you have one of these pipes that you'll need to cut it short. I've just spent the last, I don't even know how long, cutting mine to the right length because it was too short. And annoyingly, this one that I've got is actually not as simple as it should be. Should be able to just cut them short and then slot it on, but for this I've had to get a lighter and heat this up so I could push it on properly. I would have shown it, but the clip was incredibly long and I just didn't think you needed to know. So ordinarily you get these two, it'd be too long, and then you just cut the pipe short, make like to the right length, so it's like this, and then you can fit it like so. But that is the overflow all sorted. Make sure that's nice and tight on. I'll hand tighten it and then turn it, give it half a turn. Okay, right, so we've got that on now. I do have a shallow bath trap that looks a little bit like this. And obviously, where my bath is situated, in the bathroom, my bath will obviously sit like this, but my drain point is over here. So rather than having the shallow bath and the drain which go that way, like it can do normally, I'm going to fit mine like that, so it points out this way. Then when it comes to fitting my bath, I'll use this to change the angle, because obviously the pipe comes out at a perfect like 90 degrees, and I'll need to have it turn slightly to meet up with my bath trap. I don't see it being an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I have an access point on this one, which I'm basically never going to access because it's going to be behind the bath. But this is just loosely fitted for now. When it comes to actually plumbing it all up, when it's in place, we'll finish that off. But that is the overflow as well as the trap sorted. One thing I could do, or you should do, as belts and braces is that when you fit your drains, your plugs and stuff like that, on anything, whether that's a sink or a bath in my case, you can actually add some silicone. Now, when I did this originally, I didn't have any, so I will make sure to do that before I properly fit it, because even though it's got a rubber seal on it and it should be fine, that silicone just gives it that extra bit of security, so you know it's not going to leak. I should test it really before we do anything, but as I say, I need to get the silicone, so we'll do that another time. For now, however, I am satisfied with my progression. I still think this is ridiculous, but it is what it is. I don't even think that, like, for example, I've not taped there at the top. I just don't see the point. I feel like, because this is the wet zone, it's worth doing, but anywhere else, I just don't think this is necessary. I guess when you think about it, it essentially just turns it into one big panel rather than just like lots of little ones, because I've taped all the joints with the exception of down there. I don't think I need to. And I've done the windowsill. But yeah, the bath fits in there nicely. The tails are like, well, the pipe work is good to go. As I said, I need to cut this and adapt it to get to my bath, but I can't do that without the bath being in place. So I'll wait for now, because obviously after I've tiled it, the position of the bath will be slightly different. So I'm going to wait before I do that. I'll do that when I fit the bath. But all in all, we are good to go for tiling tomorrow, which I think this vlog went up on a Tuesday. So yes, tomorrow is tile day. Oh, I'm actually, despite everything, this room, this is the wonderful thing about filming everything, is that like when it's finished, it probably, I'm hoping, it'll look like a really nice bathroom. At least that's the hope for it at least. But for those people who followed along the entire journey and seen how the hash and not bodged together, because none of it's bodged together, I have ensured that everything works properly. The only thing that needs to be bodged is potentially that pipe, but rather than doing that today, which I've probably got time in today's vlog to do it, I would rather wait and see some feedback before I touch that. Like, I'm not in a rush right now. It's not associated to tiling and fitting the bath and stuff like that. It'll come afterwards. So yeah, we'll leave it for now. One question that people have been asking is like what I'm going to do about the floor and the extractor. That's a big question. I'm actually considering tiling the floor. I don't think I've showed you the tiles yet. There's a possibility I showed you these tiles at the beginning of the vlog, but this is the tile we've gone for. It's like a nice grey. It's called Pinhay. I saw this at Wix and I was like, you know, it's a nice tile. I could shop around, but to be honest, this looked really nice. Because I'm going to be complementing the room with like oak shelving and oak features, as well as probably put some plants in there and stuff. I think the grey tile will look quite nice, but they do, obviously that's a 600 by 300, so it's like a rectangle. They do some large format 600 by 600 tiles, which are for the floor. So I might get the same tiles, so the floor matches the wall, and then I'll paint the rest of the room in, it's not beige, it's kind of like an oatmeal-y colour. It's like a warm spa vibe that I'm kind of going for. Not to turn this room into a spa, I just think everything will complement each other quite nicely with the oak shelving, nice lighting, which I am going to be putting LEDs in this. One of the great benefits of having this all open is that I will send the wires through the back here. It might be a bit of a fiddle, I probably should have done this prior, but when we knock out this wall here, I'll have access to behind those shelves, and I'll be able to screw through, or rather drill through, all the wiring for each shelf. So the wiring will go out the back there. I'll have LEDs in there. Well, they'll be at the top there, but the wiring will be in each shelf. So here, here, and then up there. This one might be a bit more of a fiddle to do. I could obviously do lighting upwards rather than downwards. We'll see when we get to it. But I'm going to put LEDs in, and all of these will be nicely lit with oak shelving in, and I think it'll come together really nicely. I'm a little concerned about the size of these holes. When I originally did it, because I did everything on this room on a whim, when it's time to come together, it's starting to fall apart a little bit. I built the shape of it, put my bottle in there, and I was like, if my bottle fits in there, any kind of like shampoo, conditioner, whatever, will definitely fit in there. However, what I didn't cater for was the fact that the aqua panel at the top and the bottom, top of the bottom, would make the height of it smaller. When I tile on top of that again, it's going to get even smaller. So yeah, these boxes are going to get quite small. I'm not too concerned because to make this room really nice and stuff, rather than have loads of plastic bottles everywhere, just like what's it called? You basically get like these. You get glass bottles, dispensers. And you can go and refill them, and it's better for the planet. So I actually like to do that kind of stuff. So we may very well just get some, nice glass bottles with shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, and so on, that we can just go and refill. And there's going to be storage everywhere anyway, so I'm not too stressed about it. Yes, it'll be a nice feature at the very least, but we're getting there, man. We're so close. Once the tiles go in, it's going to be a whole vlog of tiling because at the same time, I've got to have to cater for the pipe work for the shower. But yeah, once the tiles go in, it's then on to grouting it. After I've grouted all the walls, we fit the bath, plumb it all in, and the shower and bath essentially can be used. Like I said, one thing that people have asked about a crap ton is the extractor fan. What I'm gonna do is cut a hole in the ceiling right here for my loft hatch. Then when I've got access to the loft again, I will go up there and I'm gonna rewire everything. So I've fully decided on how lighting and the wiring is gonna work for upstairs. In here, I need to add spotlights down the middle, but right above the shower, so when you're stood in the shower, the extractor is gonna go directly above you. So any steam that comes out the bath and or shower will go straight up and out. And then I've got an inline extractor fan that will go in the loft, and then I'll pipe it from there, it'll go to the inline, and then from the inline it'll pipe it outside. I'm gonna have to use, my terminology might be wrong, but the gable end of a building. So I'm either gonna have to go to that end in Benjamin's room or in what will be Lilia's room, whichever is the shortest and easiest path. So I can essentially go out the side of the building there rather than going through the tiles, because to put it in the tiles, it's going to be a much bigger job, whereas I can do that. I can just drill through the wall, put the pipe work out there, put a vent on the other side of it, and it just goes straight outside. That is one of the many ways. You might be thinking to yourself, wouldn't it just be simpler just to essentially stick a vent there and just drill straight through? The problem is the roof overhangs. If I go through the wall there, I'm also going into tiles, and I'm reluctant to go and hire someone out, like a roofer, to come out and actually fit it for me. I want to be able to do it myself. So that's the plan. Whether it works or not is a different story completely. But in my head, I think it should be perfectly fine. I don't see why it's going to be an issue. The inline extractor is easy enough for me to do. My only concern is drilling a hole through the end of the building. Like, I've been so reluctant to drill any holes on an exterior wall, because once I drill that hole is there. Don't get me wrong, I can get like a brickie out and fix it all up, but that's going to take some careful planning and time to execute that. So yeah, it's a bit of a long way away before we have the extractor in, because there's so many steps before I can actually get up there. But that is the plan. I'll have an extractor above the shower, in line, and it'll be piped out the side of the outside of the house, and then spotlights in here. What I'm going to do with electrics, obviously I've knocked down this wall, and originally they used to run in this wall. What I'm going to do is, you can see the hole there where they come through. I'm going to move them from there into this wall, maybe even in that channel there. I don't know yet, probably not, just probably here. But all of the wiring for the lights is going to go up the wall there and into the attic. Then rather, in every room, we have these conduits that go from switch up to the roof where it slopes. I'm going to chase them down, so the switches go down into the floorboards, and then there won't be any of this, and the switches will be on the wall, because I'm going to chase out everything. And then all the wiring for that can go into the floor, and then all of it will go up here. And what I might do is, you can put conduit in, but I might just get some ducting, like a bigger pipe, because there's so many wires that got to go up there. Just a pipe that goes all the way up, so I can pull cables through it if I need to. But yeah, all the lights are going to get chased downwards to the flooring, and then they'll all go up the same wall to the same place, basically. That's the plan. So there is quite a lot to do. But for now, let's just concentrate on getting the bath in. To be fair, I think once the bath is in, and it's all tiled and all plumbed in and it works, I'm happy. Like that's me satisfied. Everything else after that point should be fairly simple and easy for me to accomplish, with the exception of the extractor fan. The only thing I'm worried about with the extractor, by the way, is the fact that it's so high up the house, and I don't have a way of getting up to that point. Do you know what I mean? I've got ladders, but they'll only get me like halfway up the house. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Otherwise, shouldn't be any problems at all. Like, fit in the toilet, once I've got some feedback, that should be fine just to push in, good to go. Sink, stupid easy, not concerned about the sink at all. Paint the room, put shelves in, lighting, extractor, the backsplashes for these. Room's done. Oh yeah, I've got to do the floor. Tiling the floor, nice and easy, but I'm still really tempted to get laminate. And I'm also deciding at this point, do I do the floor before the toilet and the sink? It would certainly be a lot easier if I do it before I put the toilet and sink in. But yeah, as I say, the biggest problem I've got is this flush pipe. And when the floor goes up, obviously the toilet gets higher and so on and so forth. But anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling at you for the sake of just rambling. It's been such a long time since in the bathroom that, you know, I feel like I've thought about a lot of things off camera, because it's been so many videos since I actually came in here and did things that I've not shared that bit of an update for you. So yeah, bit of a waffle vlog today, but in the next one, it is just going to be all systems go, purely just productivity, whole wall tiled up and good for grouting. And then the next vlog after that should be grouting and fitting the bath and the shower. So we're not far. We are literally, what's that? 2 vlogs away, essentially. Two or three vlogs. I think I have to wait for the grout to dry. So yeah, we are 2 or 3 vlogs away from having a bath, shower, and all tiles in on that wall. Exciting times, can't wait. But thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you are someone who is new to my channel and hasn't been following along, my name's Orion, and I literally just share my life. I'm not, as I described earlier, a how-to guy. I don't teach people how to do things. I literally look it up on university or YouTube, and I'm willing to give it a go myself. So yeah, if you are new to my channel and you want to hit subscribe, I would appreciate that. Come and join my family on the craziness that is renovating this 1900s house and everything else that we've got planned, because I can't wait to be done with this bathroom so I can just focus on moving into the house, because oh my god, it's been a long process. Big shout out to the guys over on Patreon who get the vlogs early, and as always, it's been Orion. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace, much love, bye. Hello and welcome back to another day in the woods, where we are finally getting back into the bathroom, and was quite easy to do, but there became nicer. I think it'll just look nicer anyway. Tape my English as the windowsill, so I can then, and then rather than in every room, you see we have like these what are these called? This was not the camera angle I was going for.